Introduction. Imagine a continent where a $100 investment today could be worth $1,000 in just a few years. This isn't a far-fetched dream. It's the reality of Africa's rapidly evolving markets. From tech startups in Lagos to solar farms in the Sahara, Africa is writing a new chapter in global investment. Are you ready to be part of this story? The energy crisis, Africa's biggest challenge. Imagine standing in the heart of a bustling African city, surrounded by towering skyscrapers and modern amenities. Now picture stepping just a few miles outside that urban center and finding yourself in a completely different world, one where darkness falls not just at night, but persists throughout the day. This stark contrast highlights one of Africa's most pressing challenges, the energy crisis. The scale of this crisis is staggering. Across the continent, millions of people live their daily lives without access to reliable electricity. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a significant barrier to development and progress. The lack of energy infrastructure affects every aspect of life, from education and healthcare to economic growth and environmental sustainability. Consider the impact on education. In many rural areas, schools operate without electricity, limiting students' ability to study after dark or access digital learning resources. This puts these children at a severe disadvantage in an increasingly digital world. Healthcare facilities face similar challenges, with many unable to operate essential medical equipment or maintain proper storage for vaccines and medications. The result is a healthcare system that struggles to meet the basic needs of its population. The economic implications of this energy deficit are equally profound. Businesses across Africa grapple with unreliable power supplies, leading to frequent operational disruptions. Imagine running a manufacturing plant where production could grind to a halt at any moment due to a power outage. Or consider a small business owner who must factor in the cost of backup generators just to keep the lights on. These challenges not only increase operational expenses, but also hinder productivity and competitiveness on both local and global scales. However, the energy crisis in Africa isn't just about lack of access, it's also about the environmental consequences of current energy practices. Many communities, in the absence of reliable electricity, rely heavily on fossil fuels and biomass for their energy needs. This dependence has severe environmental repercussions. Deforestation rates increase as trees are cut down for firewood, and the burning of fossil fuels contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions, exacerbating the global climate crisis. What makes this situation particularly frustrating is the stark contrast between Africa's vast energy potential and its current infrastructure. The continent is blessed with abundant renewable energy resources. From the sun-drenched Sahara to the windy coastlines and the powerful rivers, Africa has the natural capacity to not only meet its own energy needs, but potentially export clean energy to other parts of the world. Yet much of this potential remains untapped due to inadequate infrastructure and investment. The urgency of addressing Africa's energy crisis cannot be overstated. As the continent's population continues to grow and urbanize rapidly, the demand for energy will only increase. Without significant improvements in energy access and infrastructure, the gap between energy supply and demand will widen, potentially stalling economic growth and social development. But there's hope on the horizon. Recognizing the critical nature of this issue, organizations like the African Development Bank are stepping up with ambitious initiatives. Their Mission 300 program aims to connect 300 million Africans to electricity by 2030. This initiative isn't just about providing power, it's about unlocking the continent's potential and driving sustainable development. The focus is shifting towards renewable energy solutions, which offer a promising path forward. Solar and wind projects are springing up across the continent, bringing clean, reliable power to remote areas that have long been off the grid. These projects not only address the immediate energy needs, but also contribute to long-term environmental sustainability. As we look to the future, it's clear that solving Africa's energy crisis is not just a matter of infrastructure development, it's about creating opportunities, improving lives, and unlocking the immense potential of an entire continent. The path forward lies in harnessing Africa's abundant renewable resources, investing in smart grid technologies, and fostering partnerships between governments, private sector entities, and international organizations. 3. Renewable energy, a game changer for Africa. Africa's energy landscape is on the brink of a revolution, with renewable sources poised to reshape the continent's power infrastructure. While traditional energy systems have struggled to keep pace with Africa's rapid growth, renewable energy offers a unique opportunity to leapfrog outdated technologies and create a sustainable, efficient power grid from the ground up. The continent's renewable energy potential is staggering. Africa receives more hours of bright sunshine than any other continent, making solar power an obvious choice for energy generation. The Sahara Desert alone, covering much of North Africa, could theoretically produce enough solar energy to power the entire world. However, this vast potential remains largely untapped, with current utilization rates falling far below what's possible. In North Africa, countries like Morocco are leading the charge in solar energy development. The Noor Ouarzazate Solar Complex, one of the world's largest solar plants, spans an area equivalent to 3,500 football fields and can generate enough electricity to power a city twice the size of Marrakesh. This project showcases the immense scale at which solar energy can be harnessed in the region. Moving to sub-Saharan Africa, we see a different approach to solar energy utilization. Here, the focus is often on smaller, decentralized solar systems that can bring power to remote communities without the need for extensive grid infrastructure. In Kenya, for example, companies like M-KOPA Solar are pioneering pay-as-you-go solar home systems, allowing families to access clean, affordable energy through mobile payments. Wind energy presents another promising avenue for renewable power in Africa, particularly along coastal areas. The African Development Bank estimates that the continent's wind energy potential exceeds 250 gigawatts. Countries like South Africa are already tapping into this resource with projects like the Jeffreys Bay Wind Farm, which generates enough clean electricity to power more than 100,000 homes. Venturing inland, we find vast hydropower potential in Central and East Africa. The Congo River Basin alone could generate up to 100,000 megawatts of electricity, enough to power much of the continent. While large-scale hydroelectric projects have faced criticism for their environmental and social impacts, smaller run-of-river projects offer a more sustainable alternative. These projects, which generate power without large dams or reservoirs, are gaining traction in countries like Uganda and Rwanda. Perhaps one of the most exciting renewable energy prospects in Africa lies beneath the surface of the Great Rift Valley. This geological wonder, stretching from Lebanon to Mozambique, harbors significant geothermal energy potential. Kenya is at the forefront of geothermal development in Africa, with its Olkaria geothermal power plant already providing a substantial portion of the country's electricity. The stability and reliability of geothermal power make it an attractive complement to intermittent sources like solar and wind. As we explore these various renewable energy sources, it's clear that Africa has the potential to become a global leader in clean energy production. However, potential alone is not enough. The key lies in translating this potential into concrete projects that can deliver reliable, affordable power to millions of Africans. This is where initiatives like the African Development Bank's New Deal on Energy for Africa come into play. This ambitious program aims to achieve universal access to energy in Africa by 2025, leveraging a mix of on-grid, off-grid, and clean cooking solutions. One of the flagship projects under this initiative is the Desert to Power program, which aims to make the Sahel region the world's largest solar power production zone. In Burkina Faso, the Yelin Rural Electrification Project, supported by the African Development Bank, is bringing solar power to over 150,000 households in remote areas. This project not only provides clean energy, but also creates local jobs and stimulates economic activity in previously underserved communities. Similarly, in Ethiopia, the Asala wind farm project is set to generate 100 megawatts of clean power, reducing the country's reliance on fossil fuels and hydropower. This diversification of energy sources is crucial for building a resilient power system that can withstand the impacts of climate change. These projects represent just a fraction of the renewable energy initiatives taking root across Africa. From large-scale solar farms in the Sahara to microgrids powered by mini hydro plants in rural villages, renewable energy is transforming Africa's energy landscape in diverse and innovative ways. 4. Overcoming hurdles, funding and logistics. While renewable energy projects are sprouting across Africa, a $100 billion annual investment gap looms large. This staggering figure represents the chasm between current funding levels and the capital required to truly revolutionize Africa's energy landscape. The continent's potential for clean energy is immense, but tapping into it requires more than just innovative technology. It demands equally innovative financing solutions. The scale of investment needed for Africa's energy transformation is unprecedented. To put it into perspective, the $100 billion annual requirement is nearly equivalent to the entire GDP of Morocco. This massive funding need stems from the comprehensive nature of the energy revolution required, from large-scale power generation projects to last-mile distribution networks that can reach even the most remote villages. Currently, investments in Africa's energy sector fall far short of this target. In 2019, total energy investments in Africa amounted to about $47 billion, less than half of what's needed. This shortfall is particularly acute in the renewable energy sector, which requires significant upfront capital for infrastructure development. The challenges contributing to this investment gap are multifaceted. Political instability in some regions, currency volatility, and perceived high risk often deter international investors. Moreover, many African countries lack robust policy frameworks and regulatory environments that can provide long-term certainty for large-scale energy projects. Despite these hurdles, innovative solutions are emerging. Public-private partnerships, PPPs, are playing an increasingly crucial role in bridging the investment gap. These partnerships allow governments to leverage private sector expertise and capital while sharing the risks associated with large-scale energy projects. For instance, the Bujagali hydropower project in Uganda, a successful PPP, now provides about 45% of the country's electricity. Green bonds are another promising financial instrument gaining traction. These bonds are specifically earmarked to raise money for climate and environmental projects. In 2019, Nigeria became the first African country to issue a sovereign green bond, raising $30 million for renewable energy projects. This success has inspired other African nations to explore similar options. Climate funds are also emerging as a vital source of capital for Africa's renewable energy sector. The Green Climate Fund, established by the United Nations, has committed over $2 billion to African projects, with a significant portion dedicated to renewable energy initiatives. These funds not only provide capital, but also help de-risk investments, making projects more attractive to private investors. However, funding is only part of the equation. Logistical challenges in remote area electrification present another significant hurdle. Many renewable energy projects are located in areas with limited infrastructure, making construction, maintenance, and grid connection complex and costly. Innovative solutions are addressing these logistical challenges. Mini-grids and off-grid solutions are proving effective in areas where traditional grid extension is impractical. Companies like M-KOPA Solar in East Africa are pioneering pay-as-you-go solar systems, allowing customers to pay for energy in small, affordable increments via mobile money. This model has not only made clean energy accessible to millions, but has also created a financially sustainable business model. The regulatory environment plays a crucial role in overcoming both funding and logistical challenges. Countries with clear, stable policies for renewable energy development are more likely to attract investment and see successful project implementation. Rwanda, for example, has seen a surge in renewable energy projects thanks to its comprehensive renewable energy policy, which includes feed-in tariffs and tax incentives for clean energy investments. As these innovative funding models and logistical solutions gain traction, success stories are emerging across the continent. In Senegal, the Taibandiaye wind farm, the country's first utility-scale wind power project, successfully raised $200 million through a combination of development finance institutions and commercial lenders. This project now provides clean electricity to nearly 2 million people. Morocco's Noor Ouarzazate Solar Complex, mentioned earlier, stands as a testament to successful large-scale project financing. The project utilized a mix of public funds, development bank loans, and private investments, demonstrating how complex funding structures can be leveraged for transformative energy projects. 5. Transforming lives, the human impact. While massive projects like Morocco's solar complex grab headlines, it's in the quiet corners of rural Africa where electricity truly becomes transformative. In the small village of Kapalime, Togo, the arrival of a solar panel didn't just bring light, it sparked a revolution in healthcare, education, and social dynamics. Picture Kapalime before electrification. As the sun sets, the village plunges into darkness. Kerosene lamps flicker, casting weak light and noxious fumes. Children strain their eyes to complete homework before the last rays of sunlight disappear. The local clinic operates on a limited schedule, unable to run vital equipment or store vaccines properly. Nighttime gatherings are rare, and economic activity grinds to a halt after dusk. Now, fast forward to today, solar panels glint atop community buildings and a steady hum of electricity courses through newly installed power lines. This transformation didn't happen overnight, but its effects have been profound. In the realm of education, the impact is immediately visible. Students no longer rush to complete assignments before sunset. Instead, well-lit classrooms and homes allow for extended study hours. Digital resources, once out of reach, are now accessible through computers and tablets. Teachers report improved attendance and engagement as students are eager to take advantage of these new learning opportunities. The local clinic has undergone an equally dramatic transformation. Where once basic procedures were challenging after dark, the facility now operates around the clock. Powered medical equipment has expanded the range of treatments. Refrigeration units ensure vaccines and medicines remain viable, improving overall community health outcomes. Emergency care, once a risky proposition at night, is now consistently available. Economic opportunities have blossomed in the wake of reliable power. Small businesses that once shuttered at sundown now extend their hours, increasing income and employment. New enterprises have sprung up, capitalizing on the availability of electricity. A local seamstress invested in an electric sewing machine, dramatically increasing her productivity. A young entrepreneur opened an internet cafe, connecting the village to the wider world and creating a hub for digital literacy. The social fabric of Kapalime has been rewoven by the presence of electricity. Evening gatherings, once rare, have become common. The village square, illuminated by street lights, has transformed into a vibrant community space. Residents report a stronger sense of security, allowing for increased nighttime activities. Cultural events, from traditional dances to modern film screenings, now extend into the evening hours, fostering a renewed sense of community identity. This transformation extends beyond mere convenience. It represents a fundamental shift in the quality of life for Kapalime's residents. One community member expressed it poignantly. Before, it felt like our day ended when the sun went down. Now we have the power to choose when our day begins and ends. It's not just about having light, it's about having control over our lives. The ripple effects of electrification reach into every aspect of daily life. Improved indoor air quality, thanks to the reduction in kerosene use, has led to better respiratory health. The ability to charge mobile phones consistently has enhanced communication and access to mobile banking services. Even simple pleasures like the ability to enjoy music or watch educational programs on television have had a profound impact on well-being and aspirations. While Kapalime's story is inspiring, it's not unique. Similar transformations are unfolding across Africa as electrification projects take root. The statistics paint a compelling picture of the broader impact. Communities with access to electricity consistently report improvements across a range of quality of life indicators. Economic activities increase, health outcomes improve, and educational attainment rises. Yet, it's crucial to recognize that these changes, while significant, are just the beginning. The true potential of electrification lies in its ability to create a foundation for further development. As more communities gain access to reliable power, the cumulative effect on national economies and human development indices could be staggering. Six, powering economic growth, the ripple effect. Electrification isn't just about powering lights and devices, it's the key that unlocks a nation's economic potential. But just how deep does this connection between energy and economic growth really go? The answer lies in the concept of energy access as an economic multiplier, a phenomenon that's reshaping the landscape of African economies. Consider this: for every 1% increase in electricity access, a country's GDP can grow by 0.3% to 0.5%. This seemingly small percentage translates into significant real-world impact when applied across entire nations and regions. It's not just about the immediate benefits of having lights or powered appliances. It's about the cascade of economic opportunities that reliable energy unleashes. In many African countries, unreliable power has long been a bottleneck for economic growth. Businesses struggle to maintain consistent operations, manufacturing is hampered, and agricultural productivity is limited. But as renewable energy projects take root, we're witnessing a transformation that goes far beyond simply keeping the lights on. Take, for example, the emergence of new industries around renewable energy. The solar sector in particular is creating a ripple effect of job creation and economic stimulation. It's not just about the installation of panels, it's about the entire ecosystem that develops around this technology. From manufacturing and distribution to maintenance and repair, each solar project creates a web of economic activity. This shift is particularly crucial for economic diversification in Africa. Many countries on the continent have long relied on extractive industries or agriculture as their primary economic drivers. The renewable energy sector offers a path to diversify economies, reducing vulnerability to commodity price fluctuations and creating more resilient economic structures. The agricultural sector, often the backbone of many African economies, is also experiencing a revolution through electrification. Powered irrigation systems are transforming crop yields and enhancing food security. Farmers who once relied on unpredictable rainfall can now plan their harvests with greater certainty. This not only improves individual livelihoods, but also strengthens national food security and potentially opens up new export opportunities. But the impact of reliable energy extends far beyond small-scale agriculture and local businesses. Larger industries and manufacturing sectors are experiencing profound changes. With consistent power, factories can operate more efficiently, reduce costs, and increase output. This enhanced productivity allows businesses to scale up operations, invest in innovation, and compete more effectively in global markets. The cumulative effect of these changes on a macroeconomic level is staggering. Projections suggest that improved energy access could boost annual GDP growth by up to 2% in several African countries. This isn't just an incremental improvement, it's a transformative shift that could lift millions out of poverty and reshape the continent's economic future. Consider the multiplier effect at play here. A single solar installation doesn't just power a handful of homes or businesses, it creates jobs in installation and maintenance, enables new businesses to form, allows existing ones to expand their operations, improves educational outcomes as students can study after dark, and enhances healthcare delivery through powered medical equipment. Each of these improvements in turn creates new economic opportunities, forming a virtuous cycle of growth and development. Moreover, the shift towards renewable energy is positioning many African countries at the forefront of the global transition to sustainable power. As the world grapples with climate change and seeks to reduce carbon emissions, Africa's vast renewable resources, from solar to wind to hydroelectric, represent not just a solution to local energy needs, but a potential export commodity in the form of green energy. Seven, the investment opportunity. Why Africa? Why now? As Africa's energy landscape evolves, a compelling investment narrative is unfolding. The continent's energy sector presents a unique confluence of factors that are attracting global attention. With a rapidly growing population, increasing urbanization, and a surge in industrial development, Africa's energy demand is set to skyrocket in the coming decades. This burgeoning demand, coupled with vast untapped resources, creates a perfect storm of opportunity for investors willing to navigate the complexities of the African market. The scale of Africa's energy potential is staggering. According to the International Energy Agency, electricity demand in Africa is projected to triple by 2040, with renewable energy sources poised to meet a significant portion of this demand. This growth trajectory isn't just about keeping pace with population increase, it's about unlocking economic potential across the continent. As more businesses gain access to reliable power, productivity soars, creating a virtuous cycle of economic growth and further energy demand. Yet despite this immense potential, Africa's energy sector remains critically underinvested. The African Development Bank estimates that the continent needs $32 to $40 billion annually in energy investments to achieve universal access by 2030. However, current investment levels fall far short of this target. This gap between potential and realization represents both a challenge and an opportunity for global investors. The underinvestment in Africa's energy sector stems from various factors, including perceived political risks, regulatory uncertainties, and infrastructure challenges. However, these very challenges are driving innovation and creating unique investment opportunities across the energy value chain. From generation and transmission to distribution and end-user solutions, each segment offers distinctive prospects for investors. In the generation sector, large-scale renewable projects are gaining traction. Solar farms in North Africa, wind projects along the coast, and geothermal plants in East Africa are reshaping the continent's energy mix. These projects not only offer attractive returns, but also align with global sustainability goals, making them increasingly appealing to ESG-focused investors. The transmission and distribution sectors present opportunities for both traditional infrastructure investments and innovative technological solutions. As African countries work to expand and modernize their grids, there's a growing need for smart grid technologies, energy storage solutions, and microgrid systems. These areas offer high growth potential, especially as they enable the integration of renewable energy sources into existing infrastructure. Perhaps one of the most exciting aspects of Africa's energy sector is the potential for technological leapfrogging. Just as many African countries bypassed landline telephony in favor of mobile networks, there's an opportunity to bypass traditional centralized energy systems in favor of decentralized renewable-based solutions. This leapfrogging effect is particularly evident in the off-grid and mini-grid sectors, where innovative business models are bringing power to remote communities that were previously considered uneconomical to serve. The alignment of energy investments with global sustainability goals adds another layer of appeal to Africa's energy sector. As the world grapples with climate change, investors are increasingly seeking opportunities that offer both financial returns and positive environmental impact. Africa's abundance of renewable resources positions it as a key player in the global transition to sustainable energy. This alignment not only attracts impact investors, but also opens up access to climate finance and green bonds, further diversifying funding sources for energy projects. Success stories of investors in African energy projects are becoming increasingly common, demonstrating the sector's potential. For instance, the Lake Turkana wind power project in Kenya, which provides 310 megawatts of clean power to the national grid, attracted a diverse group of investors, including development finance institutions, commercial banks, and private equity firms. The project not only delivered returns to its investors, but also significantly increased Kenya's power generation capacity. Another success story is found in the off-grid solar sector, where companies like M-KOPA have attracted significant investment. M-KOPA's innovative pay-as-you-go model for solar home systems has not only provided returns to investors, but has also brought clean, affordable energy to millions of households across East Africa. These success stories highlight a crucial aspect of investing in Africa's energy sector, the potential for outsized impact. Investments in this sector don't just generate financial returns, they catalyze economic development, improve quality of life, and contribute to global climate goals. This multiplier effect can enhance the overall value proposition for investors, particularly those seeking to balance financial returns with social and environmental impact. Why consider investing in Africa's energy sector? Africa's energy sector is not just an area of necessity, it's an arena of unparalleled opportunity. As the continent evolves, local and international investors are increasingly recognizing its immense potential. Below are key reasons why one should consider investing in Africa's energy sector. 1. Vast renewable energy potential. Africa is richly endowed with renewable energy resources, including abundant solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal energy. The continent receives more sunlight than any other region globally, making solar energy particularly promising. Countries such as Kenya, Ethiopia, and Morocco are already leading the way, showcasing scalable models that can be replicated across the continent. Investing in renewable energy projects means tapping into this vast, underutilized resource base. 2. Increasing energy demand. Africa's population is projected to double by 2050, with rapid urbanization and industrialization driving a surge in energy demand. The International Energy Agency, IEA, estimates that electricity demand in Africa could quadruple by 2040. This creates a growing market for energy solutions, particularly renewable and off-grid systems, to bridge the existing energy access gap. 3. Economic growth and the AfCFTA opportunity. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, is creating the world's largest free trade zone by connecting 54 African countries into a single market. A reliable energy infrastructure is critical to power industries, drive trade, and unlock the economic potential of AfCFTA. Investors in energy can play a pivotal role in supporting this economic transformation while benefiting from the ripple effects of increased industrial activity and cross-border trade. Fourth, supportive policies and initiatives. Governments and multilateral organizations are increasingly prioritizing energy investments. Initiatives like the African Development Bank's Mission 300 aim to connect 300 million people to electricity by 2030, highlighting a commitment to energy access. Policies such as feed-in tariffs, tax incentives, and subsidies in renewable energy further create an attractive environment for investors. 5. Emerging venture capital ecosystem. The rise of local investors, including African family offices, venture capital firms, and impact funds, is transforming the energy investment landscape. This growing ecosystem offers collaborative opportunities for international investors to partner with local firms that understand market nuances, regulatory environments, and community needs. 6. Social and environmental impact. Investing in Africa's energy sector isn't just profitable, it's transformative. Approximately 600 million Africans lack access to electricity, a barrier to education, healthcare, and economic opportunity. Renewable energy projects can address these challenges, improving livelihoods while contributing to global efforts to combat climate change. Such investments align with Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, enhancing their appeal to ESG-conscious investors. 7. Technology and innovation opportunities. Africa is becoming a hub for innovation in energy technology, with startups pioneering off-grid solar systems, mini-grids, pay-as-you-go energy solutions, and energy storage technologies. These innovations are scalable and adaptable, allowing investors to capitalize on cutting-edge solutions tailored to Africa's unique challenges and opportunities. 8. Resilience in the face of global energy trends. With global energy markets increasingly volatile, Africa presents a unique advantage. Its reliance on localized renewable energy sources reduces exposure to global energy price fluctuations. By investing in sustainable energy infrastructure, investors can hedge against global energy uncertainties while fostering long-term stability. 9. Untapped markets in rural electrification. Sub-Saharan Africa has some of the highest energy poverty rates globally, particularly in rural areas. The market for off-grid and decentralized energy solutions is enormous. Companies focusing on last-mile energy access have already proven successful, and further investments can unlock even more untapped potential in underserved areas. 10. Partnerships for shared growth. Collaborating with local businesses, governments, and organizations like the African Development Bank allows investors to navigate regulatory environments, build trust with communities, and align their goals with national development priorities. These partnerships de-risk investments and maximize long-term returns. 8. Conclusion. As Africa's energy sector evolves, investors are taking notice of the unique opportunities it presents. Local investors, including African family offices and venture capital firms, are playing an increasingly significant role in funding startups and projects. This shift signals a maturing investment landscape and a developing venture capital ecosystem within the continent. The future of Africa's energy sector looks promising, with renewable energy expected to comprise a larger portion of the continent's energy mix. The African Development Bank emphasizes that investments in renewable energy are crucial for achieving energy security and economic growth, particularly in light of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. For those looking to capitalize on Africa's vast energy potential, engaging with initiatives like the African Development Bank's Mission 300 and forming partnerships with local firms can help navigate the unique challenges of the African market. By investing in renewable energy projects, investors can contribute to sustainable development while tapping into the continent's immense opportunities.